Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Monday, April the 9th, and welcome to our video commentary. Today we're going to talk about Syria, a problem that could be described in one simple word, and that is a mess, a total, complete mess. And there's no easy answers here. Okay, there's no push a button and there's an answer. There's no magic bullet. This is complicated any way you look at it. Now, I happen to think that many of these problems in the region, first of all, they've always been complicated. I remember an Israeli politician was saying that everything in the Middle East is always complicated, that you never have easy choices or simple choices. And that's true. That's true. So, yes, things are always very complicated in that region. But I do believe that many of these problems began when we pulled out of Iraq prematurely and basically left Iraq, left this huge vacuum in Iraq that was eventually taken over by ISIS. And then ISIS began to expand and began to bring a lot of problems to other countries in the region. And I think that was a big mistake right there. The second mistake that we made was in the summer of 2012 when President Obama drew a line and said, this is a red line, and then he never enforced that red line. When the President of the United States says, this is a red line for me, he better be in a position to enforce it. Otherwise, you have what is happening in Syria. So this is I'm not just saying that everything is President Obama's fault, because that wouldn't be fair, but he clearly made two very bad choices, I believe, that have contributed to the situation right now, specifically in Syria, the red line and not enforcing it. So that brings us to the present. A year ago, we had President Trump take military action. It was very limited military action, but nevertheless, he made a statement that we would not tolerate the use of chemical weapons. Well, we just had a few days ago a horrific use of chemical weapons, and I think it's time to make another statement. I don't want to get involved in a ground war in Syria or a civil war in Syria. That is not in our best interest. But I do believe that we have to make a very clear statement that no one can use chemical weapons on civilians without consequences. And so I'm hoping that over the next 24 to 48 hours, President Trump will decide on a specific military action, specifically what to do. Well, there's lots of options. I suppose you could take out some of his runways. You can take out some of his planes. I mean, there are options. None of them are pretty, but there are options. And I'm hoping that President Trump will make a statement, not get involved in a civil war, but make a statement that the United States is not going to sit back and allow someone to use chemical weapons against civilians. Those pictures that we've seen, those images, they make me very angry. They make me very angry because that should never happen. You shouldn't have civilians and kids and women and children and innocent people killed in that fashion with those kinds of chemical weapons. So I think we need to make a very strong statement, and we need to tell Assad, if you do this, you're going to pay a very heavy price. And I believe that this time we need to escalate the price. Last year we used, I think, 59 Tomahawk missiles. I think this year it ought to be a statement 3 or 4 times bigger than that. And we should just simply say, we're not going to put up with this. And that's the end of it. I just feel that otherwise he's going to use them again, and then other people are going to use them again. And I think it has to stop here in Syria. It has to stop right here in Syria. Again, this is not a pretty choice. These are not pretty options. You don't push a button and fix the problem, but I do believe that President Trump is going to make a military statement here, and I will support him if he does that, because this is what is required, a military statement. The United States has to be the superpower here, and that means that from time to time we have to defend innocent people like those poor people in Aleppo and those poor people in Syria who are nothing but victims of a madman using chemical weapons. Thank you for watching. We have all of these at YouTube. We have them on Twitter, and we have them in my blog. Have a good day, everybody. Not a good day in Syria, though, but you have a good day wherever you are. Bye-bye, everybody.